Greetings and salutations, my friends. Welcome to a brand new episode. Today, something a bit different. We're going to do a 10 years, where are they now? We're going to look back at our favourite teams that we manage, some of our favourite players, see if we can see what they're doing now and all that sort of good stuff. Because lots of you people ask all the time about, how's various different players getting on and stuff like that. So I thought I'd save it all up for one sort of 10-year anniversary episode. We're also going to look at the Premier League, see who's been winning the Premier League and the other, World Cups and Champions Leagues and all that sort of stuff, just to get a better feel of what's been going on in the football world during our time in management. So if you're here just to see me play as Lazio manager, you can skip this episode because we're not going to play any games or anything. This is purely just to do a big sort of catch-up and see how our teams are getting on. So first we're going to look at Cardiff Met Uni. After our heroic season finishing 8th in the league, they got relegated and we don't have the second division, so they kind of just disappear off the face of the planet. They're still an amateur team. None of these players were here when we were here. Let's look back. Billy-doo, just at some of the players that we brought in. I'm not going to go through every player because that would be crazy. Let's just look at some of our sort of favourites that I remember that I like. So Daffy was a good central midfielder. He is now an awful scout. I think we'll give that one a miss. What did he do after he left Cardiff Met Uni? He went to the West End. What? No, not that West End. It's in Wales. And he played every game for a number of seasons. So he had a really good, decent career. Fair play to him. Like to see it. Then we have the mighty. People ask about this guy a lot. Aaron Lemon. He's dead now. He was a scout. I looked a couple of years ago. He was a scout with 1 scouting. Both ability and potential. Which is amazing. They didn't keep his history. Well, he played for Cardiff Met Uni. He played... for them, whoever the fuck that is, 16 games, and then Carnarvon, 35, and then Barry. So he had a decent little season, career rather. He was rubbish, wasn't he? TJ Nagy. He is now a director of football, optimistically. He's good at living in other countries. That's nice. So he was brilliant for that season we got him for, but then tailed off in the second, third season, so we kind of just let him go. Obviously, we weren't there for that one. He was just been shit. And then they went to wherever that is. And he played scored plenty of goals. It's good to see these players have a natural, decent career. It's horrible when you find out they actually just retired at 27 because they were shit. Did we bring players in the second season that I remember? Can't remember. Obviously, Harry Owen. We know where he went. Right, next up, let's look at Levski Karlovo. Now, we took charge of them in... don't think... Times are not good with me, right? Well, I think it was the second season. We did 1 season at Cardiff Met. We went to Levski Karlovo, who were the second in the Bulgarian second division, I believe. And now they're back in the second division. Okay, let's see how they actually got on. So there's our heroic promotion. So we did 2 years, didn't we? That was our first year. We finished 7th when we expected to struggle against relegation. We then got them promoted. They then survived for 4 or 5 years and then went down again, and then they're back in their natural habitat, which is disappointing. I try to leave every team that I leave on a good standing because I think they're pretty decent players. I want them to do well after I leave. Try and leave them with a bit of money in the bank and some good players, but it wasn't to be. Right, so that was the first season, so we didn't have anything to do with it. So here we go. This is where we came in with the super signings of Zappers and Harry Owen, obviously. He was our big signing, wasn't it? Ivan Tilev, who was actually a decent player for our level. He's still playing, which is cool. Where are we going? He was with us for a season. Then we sold him on for a cheeky profit of 115k. They then loaned him out for 3 seasons and then released him on a free. Brilliant, genius move. Cherno Morvana. Okay, that's good. And they sold him for 25k. So he's still doing really well. Good to see. Alberto Lugo, who I really liked, who was the attacking wing-back stroke winger. 37 years old now. He's another awful scout. It's like the default where you go. They released him, and he's had a decent... Well, his average ratings were awful, but he looked like he had a decent little career. Let's have a look at... Vaseline and Zappers. Remember Vaseline and... he's awful in his Zappers. Look at that. Zappers, did we bring him... I feel like we bought him for Cardiff Met Uni. No, we didn't. Got him on a free. Didn't do that well. Released on a free. Sold for a little bit of money. He's flirted about all over the place. But again, had a decent career. And then we've got Vaseline, who was our central midfielder stroke left back, wasn't he? He is now so he actually has a job. He's assistant manager at Misa 2005, who are 14th in the top league. No, second league. I've got the proper names on now. I haven't got any fucking clue what's going on. But that's cool. He's got an actual job. He doesn't look too bad. Not quite good enough for us. But if we spot somebody that we think actually can, we can stick on the staff, then we definitely will do it. I'm sorry if I'm missing people out. I don't want to spend a massive amount of time going through each one. And then our second season, we bought the 2 rocks, didn't we? And Hagrid. If you don't know the story of Hagrid, he really pissed me off. He was such an annoying player. It was a shame because he was a really bright prospect. He's still playing football now. We bought him in for 8,000. He just pissed and moaned and stuff about wanting to leave. So we eventually sold him for 82,000, which is a lovely profit for a club of our stature. And it looks like he's never really settled anywhere. He was in CSK Sofia, their second team. And then got loaned out, didn't really get games. He kind of flirted out of CSK Sevilla and then their second team. Loaned out again. Eventually, he got a decent move to Cherno Morvarma, who seemed to be a feeder team for everybody for $5,000. And doesn't seem to be getting many games. So that's karma, basically, because you were a little whingy bitch thinking you were above your levels. So, Rock Rosman, who's retired now at 26. Oh dear. Yeah, okay. Sorry, Rock was, but he's actually a decent player. Rock Raposa, who's retired, he's 32. Played for a few clubs, nothing special. Went back to his home country of Slovenia. Vidovic. This is a player I really rated, but my assistants really didn't and thought he was shit. So 29 years old, still playing, only 130 quid a week. Sweet monies. We got him on a loan and he was superb. Absolutely superb. He came in January and played all the games and did superbly well. And then we signed him on a free and then we left to go to Venlo. And they didn't play him at all, which is ridiculous. How do you not? He's 7.51. Jesus. They signed him for $4,000 to Semtervel, where he's had a decent career. He started off the season well this season. Right. Okay. Not too bad. I had big hopes for him. We've got a few names I recognise, but we aren't going to too many. And then we left. Did we buy anybody before we left? That was the signing we bought. Not that any... Fred. Don't remember him. I think that was the next manager that bought him. So then... Good thing is, because we take Harry Owen with us, we could just skip to Harry Owen's next club. So then, one of my probably the favourite club of this series was VVV Venlo. We joined them. They got promoted. That wasn't us. We finished 6th, and 5th. I think was our 3 seasons. Right, João Felipe and Havoc. They're still there. Beautiful. We finished. Right, well overachieved. Finished 6th, 5th, and that wasn't us. 5th. That was our 3 seasons. That was the new guy. And I was actually really pleased. We were developing something. We were building up some money. I was quite happy with how it went at Venlo. Just needed to sort of take that big sort of next step up, really, which we weren't really capable of. It would have taken another 3-4 years, I think. Where's our signings? We'll know when we see Harry Owen because that's the first signing we always make. It'll be this season, won't it? There we go. So this is our first season. We came in, not much money to spend, and a lot of rebuilding to do. It's a very small team, 375k. And the first person we bought was Steph Gronsveld, who's a right back. Okay, left back and right back. I was never a massive fan of him, but he stayed. Yeah, let's not even look. He's only played 11 games for us. We can waste our time on somebody else. Who do I like the look of? Mazzini. He was our first decent looking striker. Retired as a player at 22. Okay. That didn't go well then, did he? He was like a bright prospect and just never really did anything. Adu Pepra, who we got from Newcastle for 120 grand, he didn't really do much for us. I'm not even going to look you up. You're not worth it. Josh Harrop. This was a great signing. I thought he was superb. He's currently without a club. How can we do a job at Lazio? He's not horrific, is he? Let's see what he did. So, we got him on a free. He played 2 decent seasons, and then we sold him for a massive 350k, and he had a decent few years at Wolfsberger. Doesn't seem to be a regular, maybe a super sub a lot of the time, but he's not a bad player. Still 30. He could do a job in like League 2 or something. Somebody should pick him up, man. Godwin Uzo, who's the left back. Victor Amigi, who's the centre back that couldn't really jump. We had to train that so hard to get him to jumping. Still only 26. We loaned him out. That was us. I remember loaning him out, and then he came back. Didn't really play many games, and then went to Serbia on a free transfer, and it seems to be settling in all right. And then the big man himself, Yoshimitsu Iwake. I've missed saying that. He retired at 24. Oh, that's a sad day. He was decent. 26 goals in 50. He didn't go to another club. He just retired. Oh, I feel quite bad. How? He was all right. Man. 3 winners, medals that Iraqi has collected. Oh. Also as achievement. Shortlisted for Dutch Young Player of the Year and won the Eredivisie Top Goal Scorer Award, and then nothing. Nobody wanted him, and he retired. Could have been an injury or something, I suppose. But that's it. I'm sad about that. If he was any sort of staff member, I'd just get him. But sadly, he's just fucked it all off. Okay, then next season we got Savalainen, central midfielder, the maestro himself. Really happy with this purchase. He's valued at 4.5 million now. We knew he was going to be good. So we picked him up on a free transfer because I'm a cheeky bargaining man person. What's it even mean? He came in for us. He just ruled the central midfield. He had a fantastic season here. The 3rd season with us, he was absolutely superb. And then again, doing really well. Lots of assists. And then sold for £4.4 million to Köln in Germany. And he's been there ever since. And it looks like he's really stepped up. Okay, forget the average ratings, but he looks like he's turned into a decent player. And he is a decent player. I'm quite happy that one of our boys has gone on to do good things. 29 caps for Finland. Loving it, mate. Loving it. And then Valentine. The striker Valentine. 27-year-old Nigerian. Playing for Real Sporting Gijón in Spain. You have to say it like that. So look at this. Another cheeky bargain. This 47 grand we bought him for. He didn't set the world alight. Started the season well. And then sold him for 3 million. Who then they sold him for 1.2. But then they, amazingly, bought a striker for 1.2 million. Who scored 2 goals in 25 games. Sold him for over twice the amount to Spain. And he did decent. Looks like he's falling out of favour now, though. Good to see Valentine. Jason Williams, the Welsh wonderkid winger. The next Gareth Bale. Decent. He's turned out decent. I knew he would. I knew he'd be a decent player. He didn't improve enough. We weren't giving him enough game time because we weren't playing wingers, but that was the problem we had, was that we had this really good free prospect that we cheeky picked up. Sold him for 155 grand with a big sell-on fee because we knew he was going to come good. And as turned out, AZ Alkmaar came in with 1.6 million, never got a game, and then sold him to Auxerre. But in Auxerre, he's playing a bunch of games, so good. He seems to have found his club finally. Philip Kiss, retired at 33. It was his last team. Sad to see. He was a very good player. Bro! Where's he playing? Where the fuck is that? Okay. 29-year-old Cameroon. Serbian team. Kukariki Stankom. £2.8 million. What happened after we left was that all the good players that we'd bought for very little money or free that were worth something, the new managers just sold. It was quite horrible when we looked back and saw that. Next up, we have the goalkeeping legend, the American wonder. It is Big Dick Dan Dickinson. And he is at Espanyol. £8.5 million. Wow. Fair play to you, mate. Fair play to you. So we got him in. Another freebie. My genius scouting ability was our goalkeeper 3 seasons, and we sold him for 2.2 million, and he's been Espanyol's #1 goalkeeper. Fair play to you, mate. Earning 62 grand a week. Jesus Christ. 8 points. So he's probably our best player looking at the moment. Josh Vela, the Bolton wonder kid, 32 years old, playing for Sparta Rotterdam now. He was okay. Didn't set the world alight. He was on too much wages. That's why we sold him 2.5 million, and he's enjoying it in the Jupiler League. Right. Angel. He was our backup goalkeeper, wasn't he? Yeah. Didn't really do much. Don't care, mate. Don't care. Yaya Toure. Yeah, I remember this one. Not the actual old Yaya Toure. Ari! He came up in a scout report recently for me. Look at this guy. Ari. He's our Brazilian attacking midfielder. He's like Van Doom, but shitter, basically. We picked Ari up. I think, didn't we actually pay for it? No, another free transfer. Another genius free transfer that I made. Played for a full season, and then sold him for £6 million to Utrecht. And he's been there ever since and doing absolutely superbly well. Look at these goals. Why is he transfer listed? Yeah. Oh, listed by request. He wants to leave. He feels like he's achieved all he can at the club. He would be a decent pickup for a lot of teams as well. And then was this... This was our last season. Oh, Sandy Willie. Sandy Willie. We'll get to him. We got the Sewer, Papa John, decent player. Clemente was he was okay, not as good. João Felipe was a big signing. We'll look at him. He's still at Venlo. Really good, but quite heavily injury prone. That's what we discovered quite quickly. He was a big signing for us, 275 grand, and he's been there ever since. Nice to see somebody sticking out at Venlo and doing their job, man. Next up, we've got Sandy Willie, who is a hero of this save. He was absolutely sensational. We picked him up for £900,000. He was a massive signing. I can't believe he's only with us 2 seasons. It feels like so much more because he was such a big part of what we were doing. 900 grand, which is probably one of our record purchases, and 2 seasons, and then I didn't sell him. The new manager sold him for 2.6. Look at it. And then he went to Sassuolo for £8 million, and then Malaga for £8.75 million. Wow, that is an impressive career, my friend. Well done. And where is he now? Malaga, isn't he? Only 14 caps for Wales. Wow. We got Wally. Pontus Jansson was one of our best signings, this guy. He's still going. Is he 35? Centre-back option. We picked him up because we knew him from his Leeds days, and we know he's a good player in real life. So we picked him up, even though he's quite old, for 220 grand, and he was absolute monster for us for 3 seasons. And then new manager let him go on a free because he's a twat. And then we got Ed Air, which was just a horrible, stupid mistake. We basically got Ed Air so we could tutor somebody else. And then next season, I don't want to look at this one because this is where we weren't... Were we in charge here? No, we were in charge. We did the start of the season, didn't we? So we got Martin Groot, because we wanted to make Groot jokes. Callum Gribben was another massive purchase for us. Let's see where he's still at Venlo. Excellent. So good to see some of the guys staying there. Look at the season he had with us. He was absolutely immense. Never quite hit the heights since then, but still a very good player. Picasso, a striker option who's now playing for Lille in France. We picked him up for 1.2. Never really settled for us. And, he actually did all right. He did pretty well. And then new manager sold him like a twat. Where else did he go after that? We've played against him when he was at Bologna. And then he's gone to Lille for 3.5 million. Another successful player. Daryl Yamat on a free. The Hollow Man. I've seen him recently. He looks half decent. He'd do for my team as a backup. He's at Feyenoord currently. They just signed him for £2.9 million, or did last season. Oh no, it would have been this season. He's been around the block. He's Bursaspor, and then he enjoyed his time in Turkey, and then came back to Holland. He just missed Holland. And then Havoc, who we spent 1.4 million, one of our big transfers, still at Venlo, valued at 3.1. Very proud about that. That's great. Oh, fantastic. And he's been a solid regular, getting averages of 7s all over the place. Very good player. Oh, he's at Lazio. I didn't even realise he was at Lazio before then. Yannick Bolasie for 1 million. That was a flop. He's dead. He's not even clickable. That's how bad he is. I thought I went for the big signing, and then didn't go so well. Then this is the season that's gonna hurt me. These are the players that they sold. All of my decent players, every one of my decent players. Look at they just killed the squad. But then he did finish second in his first division in his first season, so not too bad. But that was the story of Venlo, and then Harry Owen made his trip to Lazio. We'll just see if there's anybody in our early days. So at Lazio, I don't even know how long we've been here. My brain doesn't work like that. Probably 3 seasons. Who fucking knows? We might have a better idea when we go to transfers. How long have we been in Lazio? Anybody? Any ideas? It's not that far back, is it? Where's Harry Owen? I just need to spot Harry Owen, and then I know where I am. There we go. Yeah. Okay, so this will be our 4th season. Okay. I just want to see if there's anybody that we've got rid of that has actually gone on to brilliant things and we can be embarrassed about. So we'll just take a quick look through here because most of you will be fresh in your memories. But I just want to see if there's anybody that we sold that we probably shouldn't have. Stella for 5 million was the big one. Okay, he's awful. Wow, why did they buy him? Nobody's jumping out at me that I'm that worried about that could have become really good. We sold a lot of players here. This was trying to look at the money we make in the transfer windows. Oh, this is all the shit that we had to sell off. That took me fucking 6 hours to sell all the crap in that squad. Right, let's have a look at some sort of wider football things. Let's have a look at England. World ranking 7th. It looks like we're on a we've been 5th, 6th, 7th. We're slowly declining. We dropped down and then we came back up. Who cares? It's fucking England. We're going to lose anything. Manager is Peter Schottel. Austrian dude. Is that how bad we've got? Is it? Let's look at the Premier League. Let's have a look at the league table. See if there's any unusual teams. Fulham. That you wouldn't expect. It's not. No, nobody really surprising. Interesting. 10 years on and nothing's really gone well. Sunderland is quite surprising. And Liverpool doing well is quite surprising. Man United, Chelsea, Man United, Man City, Arsenal, Man United, Man United, Man United, Arsenal, Man United. Wow, that's about as expected as Trump getting impeached in the next 6 months. Right. Yeah, I was quite surprised by that. Let's have a quick dip into the Championship. Newcastle are still in the Championship. Did they ever go back to the Premiership? Oh my Lord. That is a yo-yo club and a half. So, relegated, promoted, relegated, promoted, relegated, promoted, relegated, not promoted, promoted, relegated. And wow, that is amazing. I don't know if it would be entertaining for a fan or just really annoying. Let's have a look at La Liga. Santander. I wonder who's going to have won this. Real Madrid, Barcelona. Oh, oi. Super click. Barcelona, Real Madrid, Atletico, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Atletico, Barcelona, Real Madrid. Okay, the least exciting league. Well, let's have a look at the Bundesliga because that's where we want to go. That's where we want to go, right? Let's have a look back. Bayern Munich, Bayern Munich, Bayern Munich, Bayern Munich, Dortmund, hey. Bayern Munich. What's going on? Me clicky thing. Bayern Munich, Dortmund, Leverkusen. Oh, cool. Dortmund, Bayern Munich. Yeah, Bayern are quite good. Yeah, so this is the team. I'll just quickly show you the team that I was thinking of going for, but I pretty much have to give up my job to get it. And like their key man, this is their best player, who's looks like he's setting the world alight, is he? Which is a worry. Their hot prospect, not exactly setting the world alight. Let's have a look at a couple of competitions before we finish up, because I've waffled on far too long. Past winners: Portugal, Spain, England. Fucking, this game is so unrealistic. I'm embarrassed to look. I'm not even going to look at the European Championship. Champions League. This is probably the big one to look at, really. Past winners. Wow. So Bayern Munich and then Barcelona and Man United had a bit of a dominant spell, and then Paris Saint-Germain in the last 4 years have won it 3 times and runners up once. That is mighty impressive. Dybala is probably still quite good, isn't he? Oh my dear God, that's porn. Don't look at it. That's disgusting. How much wages is he on? 300 grand a week. Jesus. Let's have it before we finish up. I just want to have a look at Messi. See where they are now. He's dead. He's dead. Messi, Messi. There he is. Jesus. No, he just fucked off from football. He was like, I'm out. Played for Barcelona. He did all right. Ronaldo. I think Ronaldo usually goes into management, doesn't he? Cristiano is a manager. He's not a very good manager. He's determined. You'd expect that from him. He's 41 now. Played for Real Madrid forever. Has he managed anywhere? No. So, he's not a big fan of Ronaldo, got to say that's why I laughed. He's been a manager for 2 years. Nobody's offered him a job. I do need a new cleaner, though, so under 18's assistant manager. Oh, man. Can we get him? Can we get him as an under 18's assistant manager? That'd be hilarious. I'll give you a wage rise, mate. I don't mind giving you a bit of chunk of change, yeah? 20% a year, yeah? Sweet as. If we win the league, I'll give you more than you could ever dream of. £10,000. If we win the cup, you can have 10,000. He's never going to agree to this. No. Fine. Let's just go back to the Premier League. And awards. Let's have a look at some of the Footballer of the Year awards. Who's this guy? Giovanni Lo Celso. Decent. Kevin De Bruyne. Bernardo Silva. Dybala when he was at Man City. Mesut Ozil still hanging on in there. 37 now. He's a director of football. No thanks, Frogface. Don't need you. Alexis Sanchez. He's just retired. Paul Pogba. How's he... fucking... not bad, is it? Not bad. Kevin De Bruyne's probably pretty decent. He's getting on a bit now. His physicals are really hurting now. Can't see him lasting much longer at Man City, to be honest. Jamie Vardy, what's it? I was going to say, please become a manager. That would be hilarious. Luis Suarez, what are you up to? Oh no, I'd have to sack Peter Crouch. I'm sorry, Peter Crouch. It's fucking Luis Suarez. Alright, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Peter. I'm sorry, but it's Luis Suarez, one of my favourite players. And Hazard, what's he up to? Still playing. 35, Bayern Munich as well. Interesting. £75 million. He's been quite good, though, to be fair. It's probably a decent purchase overall. Anybody? Gareth Bale, what's he up to? He just retired. Didn't go anywhere after Real Madrid. What's old Scott Parker up to? Said no one ever. Don't even care. I wonder if Thierry Henry's in the game. He's a coach for Belgium. Okay, he's still there. Fair enough. Dennis Bergkamp. He'd be a decent... Oh, no, he's not. Gianfranco Zola, he's given up as well. Shearer, I don't want Shearer. Klinsmann. Right. Let's just go to... top goal scorer. Let's have a quick look at top goal scorer. See who's coming up. I think in the game, Harry Kane has just moved to Liverpool at the age of 33 for £7 million. Why would you do that, Tottenham? He scored 20 goals last season. He actually hit the magical 20 mark, and then you sold him for peanuts. Stupid. That's stupid. Icardi, another very good striker, getting on a little bit now. Earning 375 grand a week. Let's have a look just as our scouting and just see some of the biggest, most expensive players in the world. Shall we? Let's just drool over some of the best players in the world. Let's go for value is at least 10 million, just to cut out all the scrolling a little bit. And then we'll take off realistic. Dylan Wouters is the most valuable player in the world. He is Belgium. Fucking Belgium, they produce some players, don't they? Playing for Barcelona. Yeah, I can see he's not bad. He needs to work on his jumping reach, but, other than that, they bought him for 110 million from Man City, who bought him for 73 million pounds from Wolfsburg. Fucking hell. That is ridiculous, you silly clubs. Mark Smith, a South African, is the second most valuable player. Playing for Paris Saint-Germain, they bought him for 55 million off Barcelona, who bought him for 40 million. Juventus got him for 400k. I bet they were fucking laughing. Okay, Locatelli, he's a real-life player. 60 million playing for Paris. You can see why Paris Saint-Germain are doing so well. Look at all some of these players they're picking up. Rodrigo Miguel, 25-year-old RG. Oh my God, that is disgusting. He's gone for £250 million in total. And then when they're going to look at this Japanese player, wow, he looks good, doesn't he? Paris Saint-Germain bought him for £1.3 million, bargain, and then sold him a season later for 600 million. 2 seasons later for 600 million? 60 million to Inter, who then sold him to 77 million to fucking hell. One day I want to buy a player that's good. Like I can spend stupid money on. Is there any unusual... Was a Nigerian, Chima Abubakar? Yeah, not bad. Oh, Willie Teaser! It's Teaser, but it's Willie Teaser. That's almost worth buying. I'll scout him. I'll spend £50 million for a Willie Teaser. Right. Okay, right. I'll stop waffling on now. We're done. I hope you enjoyed that little sort of, look to the past and see all the shit that's going on. Sorry if I didn't cover everything. There's I could go on for another 2 hours, but then that'll just get utterly boring. I'll just sort of show you the main things. But more importantly, I wanted to show you the old teams and how Daffy and Zappy and Aaron Lemon were all getting on. Not good. A few of them had good careers. What the good thing about it, for me, from this video, my favourite thing is to find out that a couple of players like João Felipe, Callum Gribben, and the other one that I remember because I saw it, somebody was there. I thought there was somebody. Havoc. There we go. Are all still at Venlo, which is fantastic news, although Callum Gribben is wanted. But, you know, I think that's really good. Right, thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed this little episode, guys. Let me know in the comments if you did, please, because, you know, I'll do stuff like this more regularly, you know, do like a special catch-up episode, because I know not everybody wants to see this sort of stuff, but I find it fascinating. And I think it goes to show what good, cheap and free purchases we made at Venlo, because a lot of those players have gone on to be very good, valuable players for big teams. So, you know, pat on the back for me. Well done, me. Well done. Thank you very much for joining me, guys. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.